Hello and welcome. My name is Mihai Hornea, the designer and engineer behind the hybrid gearbox. The hybrid gearbox is a system that works complementary to a dual clutch transmission. Now, we all know that the manual gearbox is dying, is being phased out in favor of newer and better transmissions that are adding a layer of comfort and safety to the car. But the layout of the manual transmission, which consists of 3 pedals and a stick, is not necessarily going away as well. The hybrid gearbox aims to save at least the layout. This is an explanation video, and in order for it to work, I have to assume that you know a little bit about transmissions and have a basic grasp of engineering. Okay, so the point of a gearbox is to take engine RPM as an input and to output a modified RPM, which is either higher or lower. For instance, the engine may have 2000 RPM, while at the wheels there might be only 150 RPM. In case a new RPM is needed at the wheels, a gearbox needs to change gears to accommodate that new change, that new requirement. Usually, transmissions do this by engaging various cogs. I've said that the hybrid gearbox is a complementary system to a dual clutch transmission. A dual clutch transmission looks a little bit like this. This is a technical diagram. So you can see it has 2 clutches, one for the odd gears, one for the even gears, with respective gear packs, even gears as well as odd gears, and at the end a final drive and an output shaft. Okay, so in order to change gears you have to engage and disengage the clutch. This is usually done by a high pressure hydraulic pump. The hybrid gearbox adds a new system to do this function, a clutch pedal that you'd find in a manual car. Now, the other aspect to a dual clutch transmission is the gear pack, both odd and even. The changing of gears there is done by a hydraulic labyrinth controlled by a computer. The gear lever assembly is sending an electronic signal to operate those gear changes and to engage the gear you want, as well as a mechanical operation through push-pull cables. Something that you'd find in a Volkswagen type gear lever assembly. Okay, so it has 2 cables, one for lateral pull and one for longitudinal pull, and the combination of the 2 select a certain gear. The reason why the coupling mechanism has both an electronic aspect and a mechanical aspect to it is because there are 2 points to be considered here. First is redundancy. If one system fails, you have the other. The other aspect, and the most important in my opinion, is the feel aspect. Sending an electronic signal isn't all that satisfying or all that precise compared to actually engaging a gear mechanically by yourself. The electronics are there to make the shift more precise and to synchronize the forks much better so that there's less wear. Now, the coupling mechanism and the clutch pedal, which is mounted on a retractable system, is what form the hybrid gearbox system. This system was designed from the ground up to be easily installable on any dual clutch transmission currently in use with little to no modifications whatsoever to both the transmission and the interior of the car. The point of the hybrid gearbox is to make sure that the manual layout doesn't die. We all know that the manual car will die soon. Currently in 2017 there are only a handful of cars still produced with a manual gearbox, and by 2020 those numbers will decline even further. The manual is really fun and it's really good for a drive. With the hybrid gearbox, at least the spirit is kept. You still keep 3 pedals and the gear lever. That's all I had to say. If you like this idea, please consider supporting me, liking, sharing this video and the page, and see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.